favorite stories about the Mesiris Nefesh, the sacrifice that went in to the Kotel, which we sometimes take for granted. So in 1929, the British are in charge of Palestine, and they decided not to allow the Jews to blow the shofar that year, even though it's the ancient custom. Of course, the end of Yom Kippur reminds us of the shofar blowing back at Har Sinai, reminds us of the shofar blowing to come into Eretz Israel, reminds us of the freedom we feel at the end of Yom Kippur. But in any case, the British said at our holiest spot available to us at the Kotel, no shofar blowing, and this was to add insult to injury because we were not allowed to have mechitzot, partitions, we were not allowed to have chairs to sit down on, and now they wouldn't even let us blow shofars. They wouldn't let people sing davening, all to appease the Muslims who did not like the Jewish presence at the Kotel, and they were doing everything they could to pressure the British to dislodge them from Jerusalem. And so that was the situation. Comes 1930, and there's a young man, his name is Moshe Siegel. Moshe Siegel, Chabadnik fella, davens Shachris that morning by Aryeh Levine's Eitz Chaim Shul, and in the Nachlaot area. And in the afternoon, without telling anyone his plans, he takes steps towards the old city. Every step a rebellion against the British imperialists. He walks down to the Kotel, no one suspecting him. And at the end of the late afternoon, all of the worshippers, all of the daveners are asking themselves, who's going to blow the shofar this year? Will we blow the shofar or will we submit to the British Gezerah, the decree against us? Moshe Siegel goes to the Rabbi Ornstein, and says, can you get me a shofar? And Rabbi Ornstein says, don't you see there's more British policemen here than daveners? Didn't you hear? It's forbidden. But Moshe Siegel would not be dissuaded. He says, nonetheless, Jews have given their lives for less important minhagim. We are on our holiest day at the Holy Kotel. I must blow the shofar. So the rabbi points him to the southeast corner where they had hidden a shofar. And Moshe Siegel takes the shofar, puts the talis over his head. Marav ends. He says, here under this talis, it's just me and the British. And, I'm sorry, me and Hashem. No British. And of course, takes a big breath. He had been practicing. Blows the shofar. Everyone is silent, respectably and proudly defying the British. Start singing the Shana Habab Yushalayim. And of course, the British arrest Moshe Siegel. But it was too late. He had set into motion a tradition that would last the next 18 years. Every year, a Jew would defy the decree of the British, somehow find a way to sneak to the Kotel and blow the shofar, our ancient tradition. Siegel was arrested, thrown into prison. The Kishla was not allowed to break his fast, but Rav Kook threatened the British that he would not break his fast until Siegel was allowed to break his fast. And so Siegel, at about midnight, was allowed to leave. And he would later say this was the proudest, most important moment of his life. We all be zoicha to appreciate Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh because of the sacrifice of people like Moshe Siegel. I try to go to the Kotel on Yom Kippur and hear the shofar being blown, and I try to remember this story. So with Chodesh Elul around the corner, I'm going to start blowing the shofar to remember the Mesiris Nefesh of Am Yisrael in order to help us get back to where we are today. Mizrat Hashem, we need a little bit more Mesiris Nefesh, and we'll get to the shofar on the other side of the Kotel.